I really like the look of live edge tables like I've got going here. And when I do this, there are a couple things involved, a couple things I think about. One is the bark. And my treatment of that is if I get this far in the process, which is this table's ready for a coat of finish, and the bark is still stuck, it's probably gonna stay stuck. So what I do with that is I just come along and I kind of pick at it. And if it naturally falls off, it falls off, and I leave it off. In this case, this is a cherry table, and the bark is doing a great job of staying stuck, so I'm good with that. However, what I don't like is that there are spots, this is a good example right here, where when I feel this, it's just a little sharp. And there are, of course, it's bark, so there are a variety of spaces, a variety of spots where it's like that, and it's just a little too edgy. And I don't want to take a random orbit to this because it's going to then knock the bark down and it won't look like bark anymore. So instead, I find that these things, which are called flutter sanders or mop sanders, do a really good job of easing the bark and kind of almost buffing it, wire wheeling it, without changing its look a lot. So here's the deal. And two, at this stage, if the mop sander knocks the bark off a little bit, I'm okay with that because that probably means it was going to fall off anyway. Just treat this thing like a buffing wheel. And it's cool. Now when I come back and I feel this, the edge is way more eased. And part of that, in my woodworking, what I'm looking for is I don't want to leave a sharp corner where if your hand comes across that, it's going to be uncomfortable. And that's the same with just the outside corners on the project itself. The other thing I learned in college was my finishing instructor taught us that if you have a perfect 90-degree corner, if it's a sharp corner, there's no place for finish to stick to it. So you always want to ease those corners just a little bit. So that's part of what I'm applying to this bark here. So just a little bit of work with a mop sander or a flutter sander is enough that it makes this more tactily comfortable. It makes it more comfortable to run my hand across this. It's going to knock off any last little bit of loose junk before I shoot finish on this. And the real benefit too, it doesn't change the look, the organic look of the bark that I have on here. So next time a live edge is in your shop with bark on it like this, or even without the bark, try one of those mop sanders, and I think you'll like how it shakes out for you.